Wonderhussy here, reporting for the Wonderhussy News Network, live in Amboy, California, where a crazy scientist slash limo driver named Mad Mike Hughes is about to launch his self-built, steam-propelled rocket into the stratosphere to finally prove once and for all that the Earth is actually flat. Now, Mad Mike doesn't really want a bunch of spectators. You can see in the distance there, that's the rocket launch site. My girlfriend and I came out here and took a back road behind the launch site, thinking that we might be able to sneak in that way. Wrong. You got to get up pretty early in the morning to pull one over on Mad Mike Hughes. Security guy came over and asked us to leave because if we watched it from back there, we might get hurt if the rocket fell down on our car. So apparently it was okay to come out here to the highway. This is Old Route 66, aka Amboy Road. And you can see behind me in the distance here, there's a number of cars parked, people waiting to watch the launch. And apparently it's much safer over here because the rocket isn't anticipated to fall on this side. It's only anticipated to fall on the side where we were. I don't know, you tell me, it doesn't make sense to me either. I think they just didn't want us to be around their business because there was a film crew that's documenting the launch and they're trying to charge a $5 pay-per-view to watch it on their channel. So, you know, here on the Wonderhussy News Network, content is always free. We never charge you. You can count on us for your free content. Okay, you can see in the distance, I'm gonna use my crappy digital zoom to give you a closer look at the rocket. That's the launch site. So behind that is where my girlfriend and I drove up originally and they chased us off. But apparently this rocket is powered by steam and the shaft, I'm not sure you can really tell in this crappy zoom, the shaft is a green color and it's basically a giant boiler or like a water heater and it's heating up water as we speak, getting it to some temperature where eventually they're going to open this throttle and the steam power is going to blow this thing sky high into the atmosphere. Or that's the idea anyway. Who's to say what's actually going to happen? I mean, the guy who's launching this rocket has successfully launched rockets in the past, so he does know what he's doing. But the last rocket that he launched, he ended up in a walker for 2 weeks. So it could go horribly wrong. It's a good thing I brought these binoculars with me because I want to be able to see every detail of this launch. Now, across the highway from the launch site, you'll see this little lonely BLM ranger keeping an eye on the proceedings. Why is that, you ask? Well, the past couple launches that Mad Mike has attempted were foiled by the BLM because he didn't have a permit to land his rocket ship on federal property. So apparently the side of the highway over there is private property, and the side of the highway where this BLM officer is lurking is public lands. And I think he's just there to make sure that this rocket doesn't accidentally land on BLM land or public property, because then Mad Mike is in violation of some arcane federal statute and he's going to owe them a bunch of money. So I assume Mad Mike's plan is for the rocket to go up and land on that same basic area. Let's see if he's successful. All right, we're here at the launch site. We've staked out a little spot where my girlfriend can shoot some still photos with her telephoto lens, and I can do my reporting live for the Wonderhussy News Network. We're far enough away from everyone else where we shouldn't bother anyone. But honestly, the atmosphere is somewhat of a tailgate party. You can see these people here have a tent set up. They're drinking beers. Not us, though. We're serious journalists. We're here to report the facts and the facts only. So all we're drinking is root beer, and that's ROUTE beer, sold down the road at Roy's in Amboy, California, and it sure is delicious. You can drink as many as you want and you'll never get a DUI. Okay, it's almost 4 o'clock. We're still here sitting waiting at the site. There really aren't a lot of signs of activity going on at the actual launch site, so I'm not sure that he's going to take off at 4 o'clock like we were told. Originally he said anytime between 3 and 5 p.m., so we might be here for another hour. But in the meantime, It's a beautiful day and we're enjoying sitting here in the desert and taking some selfies and goofing around with our equipment. Now, a little backstory about this guy, Mad Mike Hughes. Apparently, according to Wikipedia, he's a limo driver from Apple Valley, California. And at one time, he did hold the world record for long-distance limo jumping. He jumped his limo across a bunch of crushed-up cars at one of those monster truck rallies. But I think somebody broke the record not long after that, so it was a temporary victory for him. And I'm guessing that ever since then, he's felt a fire in his belly to set a new world record. And that might be why he's here today. And also, from what I was able to read online, it sounds like he's been interested in building rockets and launching rockets for a number of years, and he wasn't really a flat earther until fairly recently. He tried to raise a bunch of money in 2016 to launch a rocket, and he was only able to raise something like $300 until he allied himself with a flat earther crowd. And now all of a sudden he got $8,000 and all this publicity for his rocket launch. So I don't know. It kind of reminds me of Taylor Swift, how she used country music to get famous, but she really wasn't a country person. My gut feeling is that Mad Mike is not a flat earther, really. He's just using that platform to get notoriety and funding. But who knows? Maybe he is. And who am I to say? I mean, I've been up in an airplane and I've been up on some pretty high mountains, and Earth looks pretty flat from down here. Now, interestingly, we were told that Mad Mike really dislikes being compared to Evel Knievel, which is a shame because really his whole shtick and his legacy is so Evel Knievel. I mean, the last rocket that he built and successfully launched over Arizona ended up going almost a mile, I think, in under a minute. But it left him using a walker for 2 weeks afterwards. So I'm assuming he really busted himself up pretty badly, and that's very Evel Knievel. And I mean, you tell me, building this rocket and launching it off in the middle of the desert with all these yahoos watching, if that's not Evel Knievel, then I don't know what is. I'm not sure if you can see, but over at the launch site, there's also an ambulance parked, just in case the launch goes awry. I mean, I can't imagine any reason why this launch would go awry, but just in case it does, there's an ambulance standing by to carry Mad Mike to safety. Okay, it's shortly after 4 p.m. and you can cut the tension with a knife. I just looked through my binoculars at the rocket and there's somebody with his head stuck in it making last-minute adjustments. I don't think it's Mike himself.
Oh, Mike's over there.
Oh, wait, that's just in. Breaking news. Mike's over there. Where?
This group of people, like, over by the...
Oh, Mike's hanging back in a group of cars over here. He's probably getting into his special spacesuit. Oh, now the group is moving closer to the rocket. Okay, it looks like Mad Mike might actually be inside the rocket. It's hard to tell from this distance, but another guy just passed the helmet inside the rocket and somebody took it. So I think he's in there and he's suited up and he's getting ready to launch. Meanwhile, you can see that the crowd is really excited and the tension is thick. People can't wait on this beautiful winter desert day to see Mad Mike take off in his rocket. He's being loaded in right now. They just closed the door on the hatch.
Yeah, they just closed the door.
I think he's about to take off. Okay, the guy just kind of tightened the hatch door, screwed Mad Mike into the capsule, and now he's climbing back down the ladder and removing the ladder from the capsule so that it's free to shoot off, blast off into space. Before you know it, this little rocket ship is gonna go whoosh. All right, everyone looks like they've cleared the immediate area and the site has been prepared for the launch. Should be happening any second. Okay, it's now almost 5 o'clock and Mad Mike Hughes has still not launched. In fact, we just got word that the launch has been delayed. Shocker. Okay, there in the distance you can see everyone clearing the launch site. There goes the scout car, there goes the ambulance, and there goes this red SUV that has like a little red kitty car strapped to the roof. Not sure what's going on with that, and I wish I could zoom in more so you could see what I'm talking about. Maybe you can kind of get a glimpse of it there. Another failed launch attempt by Mad Mike Hughes and his flat earth rocket. Seems like every time this guy tries to get his rocket up in the air, something goes wrong. So I basically wasted a whole day driving out here and standing around like an idiot, watching and waiting for nothing. But I wouldn't really say for nothing, because it was a fun day, beautiful day out here in the desert, great weather, met some really cool people from the local area, and almost got to witness a part of history. I mean, if nothing else, say what you will about Mad Mike Hughes, he is a testament to American ingenuity and the never give up spirit of the American people. And it's that same spirit that makes me think he will launch that rocket one of these days. Wonderhussy, reporting live for the Wonderhussy News Network, Amboy, California. Special thanks to our sponsor, Route 66 Root Beer. That's ROUTEBEER, Root Beer.